So the opposite of an intrusive test would be a passive test, all right? And we think of passive, we think of meditating, right? Nice and relaxed. So I have a picture of someone here meditating. Typically, it's not quite this peaceful, but the basic premise is it's going to be a non-intrusive passive test, right? We're not actively going out and interacting with those systems. We're gathering stuff maybe in transit. We're taking some logs off to the side. We may be capturing some data and then reporting on the vulnerabilities that we found. All right, so no disruption to the business. It observes and reports on findings, as I mentioned, and it doesn't take any systems down, no applications, or no services. All right, so it's a passive test. Okay, so once we're done and we've actually identified vulnerabilities, and it will depend upon the application that we're using, but they'll, in one form or fashion, will report back with what vulnerabilities they found, what patches are missing, and so forth. They'll either just give us a report, or depending upon the system, again, it may give us the opportunity to remediate those things. So it's going to report back on the vulnerabilities that are found. It might be missing patches. It might be security misconfigurations. We know we may have applications that we just set wrong, or perhaps we don't have them set to best practices. Known exploits within our systems. Again, each application, each service will have its own specific set of known exploits. Then we can identify the lack of security controls. And again, we may have the systems in place. We may think that we're good to go, but a good vulnerability assessment can show us where those gaps lie. So when we want to go through the process of identifying security controls or the lack thereof, all right, oftentimes it's more than just the security control is misconfigured. All right, it may be there, but it just may not be set up to best practices. Or it could actually be missing, right? The security control, the security control itself might not be there. So we may not have the antivirus program even installed or a firewall installed, okay? Now, again, we could have those things installed and maybe just missing patches, but there are times when the security control itself is just gone. And we'll understand that when we go through and review our logs. We can do a manual audit in addition to an automated fashion. We can also interview personnel, all right? So we can go through from a security perspective and interview each person that's responsible for various functions within the environment, find out what they do, what they don't do, the practices that they follow, and so forth, to make sure that everything is in line with best practices and everyone is on the same page.